Today, we are making NAPLEX pharmacy calculations easier by focusing on the skills that show up again and again: unit conversions, ratio and proportion, dimensional analysis, pediatric dosing, days supply, and compounding calculations. Welcome to the Pharmaste NAPLEX Preparation Coach. Before we jump into this explainer, let's just take a quick moment to center ourselves. Go ahead and take one slow breath in and gently breathe out. Look, pharmacy calculations can feel incredibly stressful, I know, but I promise you, most problems follow very predictable, repeatable patterns. Today, we're going to slow things down, set up the math clearly, and really build your confidence, just one step at a time.
Here is our quick roadmap for today's lesson. We'll be hitting foundations and core conversions, essential math frameworks, prescriptions and pediatric dosing, liquids and day supply, and finally, compounding and common mistakes. Let's get right to it.
Section 1, Foundations and Core Conversions, or Why Your Setup Matters Most. Okay, let's dive into this first foundational step. You might be wondering, why do your setup and core conversions matter so much? Well, on the NAPLEX, calculation questions aren't just handed to you as plain, simple math equations. No, they're very often hidden inside these complex clinical or prescription-based scenarios. That means your very first job is to read carefully, extract the relevant data, and identify the exact unit the question is asking for, literally before you even touch a single number on your calculator.
So, I want you to burn this crucial mantra into your brain. The calculator does arithmetic, but your setup earns the point. Avoiding careless decimal errors and perfecting how you physically write out the equation on your scratch pad. That is the real test. Because if your setup is flawed from the get-go, your calculator is confidently going to give you the perfectly wrong answer.
Now, let's talk about your non-negotiables. For the metric system, just remember this simple tip. Metric moves by thousands. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. 1 milligram is 1,000 micrograms. And for the household side of things, well, household units simply must be memorized. 1 teaspoon is 5 milliliters. A tablespoon is 15 milliliters. A fluid ounce is 30 milliliters. And a pint is 480 milliliters. Oh, and of course, don't forget the apothecary oddball. It's a system so archaic, it's literally based on the weight of a single grain of wheat. 1 grain is approximately 65 milligrams. You just gotta write these out until they're second nature.
Section 2, Essential Math Frameworks, covering ratio, proportion, and dimensional analysis. Let's transition to our essential math frameworks now. Think of this like we're working on a virtual whiteboard together. We're going to build the two most reliable engines for solving pharmacy math: ratio and proportion, and dimensional analysis. Now, the absolute golden rule for both of these: keeping your units perfectly consistent across the board. Okay, let's set up a proportion. A proportion simply states that two ratios are entirely equal. On one side, we've got our known strength, and on the other, our ordered dose. Let's look at a fresh practice scenario. Say you have a suspension that is 125 milligrams per 5 milliliters. The ordered dose is 300 milligrams. So how many milliliters are needed? As we map this out, notice how we keep milligrams on the top numerator and milliliters on the bottom denominator for both sides. It looks like this: 125 milligrams over 5 milliliters equals 300 milliliters over X milliliters. Let's move to the next step and see how this builds. Once your consistent setup is locked in, the rest is just straightforward algebra. We cross-multiply to isolate our unknown variable, which is X. So, 125 times X equals 5 times 300. And that simplifies beautifully to 125X equals 1500.
And when we divide 1500 by 125, it gives us our final answer: 12 milliliters. Now listen to me as your coach right now. The absolute most common mistake here is rushing and flipping one side of the proportion, like say putting X on the top instead of the bottom. If you keep identical units in identical positions, the math protects you. It's that simple. Let's look at another super powerful tool: dimensional analysis. You might know this as the factor label method. This is where we chain conversion factors together so those unwanted units just cancel out diagonally. Let's test this out with a fresh order. The order is 0.75 grams. Our supply is 250 milligrams per 1 milliliter. How many milliliters do we need? Well, we start with exactly what we have: 0.75 grams. We multiply that by 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram to cancel out the grams. Then, we multiply by 1 milliliter over 250 milligrams to cancel the milligrams. So, 0.75 times 1,000 divided by 250 equals 3 milliliters. I really want to highlight this key phrase because, honestly, it is incredibly reassuring when you're under pressure. If the units cancel correctly, the math is usually correct.
Dimensional analysis is basically like having a built-in safety net. Think about it. If you end up with milligrams when the question explicitly asks for milliliters, you know instantly that you missed a step. And you know it before you even hit enter on the calculator.
Section 3, Prescriptions and Pediatric Dosing, specifically deciphering SIGs and weight math. Okay, let's dive into this next section, because before we can crunch any actual numbers, we have to decode the secret language of the exam. Interpreting the prescription correctly, that's step 0.
Let's do a really rapid review of these high-frequency abbreviations. You probably know them, but let's be sure. GTT is the drop. OU is both eyes. OD is right eye. OS is left eye. BID is twice daily. TID is 3 times. QID is 4 times. QHS means at bedtime. PO is by mouth. And that lowercase Roman numeral II means 2. Now, why review this basic stuff? Because an otherwise perfect calculation is completely derailed if you mistakenly read OU as a single I. You'd literally be cutting your final answer in half. Let's put that into practice with a fresh example. Imagine an order reads SIG, II tabs, PO, TID times 4 days. Here is my absolute top NAPLEX tip for dispensing calculations. Always explicitly identify the dose per administration, the frequency per day, and the duration. So for this one, that's 2 tablets, multiplied by 3 times daily, multiplied by 4 days, giving us exactly 24 tablets. Read the label, extract the trio, do the math.
Now let's talk about pediatric dosing. This relies heavily on weight-based math, and yeah, it can definitely be intimidating. But as your steady coach, I want you to strictly follow these 3 sequential, absolute, non-negotiable steps. Step 1, always convert pounds to kilograms by dividing by 2.2. Step 2, multiply those kilograms by the ordered milligram per kilogram dosage. Step 3, watch out for the trap. Always read carefully to see if the problem states per dose or per day divided into doses. It makes a massive difference. And this brilliantly illustrates how those steps look when we lay them out. Let's look at a new problem. We have a 44-pound child, and the dose is 10 milligrams per kilogram per dose. First up, 44 pounds divided by 2.2 gives us a nice, clean 20 kilograms. Next, 20 kilograms multiplied by 10 milligrams per kilogram equals 200 milligrams per dose. Now, if this happened to be an oral liquid, our very next step would simply be converting those 200 milligrams into a final milliliter volume.
Section 4, Liquids and Days Supply. Translating dose to volume and time. This leads us perfectly into our next focus. This section is all about translating a required physical dose of a drug into either a measurable liquid volume for a syringe or a specific time frame for a patient's prescription bottle. So for injectable and liquid meds, the core formula is super straightforward. Volume equals your desired dose divided by the concentration you have on hand. Let's apply this to a real order. The order is 60 milligrams. The supply vial on your shelf says 20 milligrams per milliliter. So 60 milligrams divided by 20 milligrams per milliliter gives us exactly 3 milliliters. The massive, entirely avoidable common mistake here, forgetting to match your units before dividing. If your order is in grams and your supply is in milligrams, you have to convert to a shared unit first, every single time.
Let's take a look at a slightly more involved concept here. Notice how neatly a multi-step pediatric liquid dose problem can be broken down. It perfectly models our whiteboard strategy, converting the patient's pounds to kilograms first, then calculating the total milligram dose required, and finally setting up that clean proportion to find exactly how many milliliters of the solution are needed to deliver that dose. This is exactly the organized, step-by-step setup we've been practicing today.
Now let's figure out days' supply. The formula is total quantity dispensed divided by daily use. Let's map out a quick timeline. A patient takes 10 milliliters twice a day, that's BID, from a 120 milliliter bottle. First, find their daily use. 10 milliliters times 2 is 20 milliliters every single day. Then just divide the 120 milliliter bottle by that 20 milliliters a day. The answer? A 6-day supply. Quick pro tip for you, if you ever face a shortage question on the exam, simply calculate the total amount needed, subtract the amount dispensed to find out exactly what the shortage is, and then convert that shortage back into days.
Section 5, Compounding and Common Mistakes, Capsule Math and Protecting Your Score. All right, we are entering the final stretch. I actually like to frame this section as your defensive strategy. You've learned how to earn the points. Now let's learn the compounding logic and exactly how to protect your hard-earned score from common exam day traps.
For compounding calculations, we really often need to figure out how many whole tablets or capsules it takes to make a specific suspension. Let's write this compound order out. Prepare 80 milliliters of a 10 milligram per milliliter suspension, and you're using 40 milligram tablets to do it. First step, find the total, absolute amount of active drug needed. 10 milligrams per milliliter multiplied by the final volume of 80 milliliters equals 800 total milligrams of drug needed in that final bottle. So the crucial point is knowing what to actually do with that total. You take the 800 milligrams total needed and you divide it by the strength of your source ingredient, which in this case is 40 milligrams per tablet. The milligrams cancel out nicely, and 800 divided by 40 equals 20 tablets. See how the units logically lead you right to the final physical tablet count? To finish up, let's rapidly triage the most frequent errors that sink candidates on this exam. Number 1. Multiplying by 2.2 instead of dividing when going from pounds to kilograms. Remember, a patient literally cannot weigh more in kilograms than they do in pounds. Number 2, mixing units. Never ever divide milligrams by grams. Match them first. Number 3, confusing a per dose order with a divided daily order. And finally, rounding too early in your dimensional analysis or simply placing the decimal in the wrong spot at the very end. Look, defending against these simple, silly errors is just as vital as knowing the most complex formulas in the book. We have covered a lot of ground in this explainer today, all the way from dimensional analysis to pediatric dosing. Now, I want to leave you with a provocative question to really think about. What is your personal strategy to double-check units before you press the equals button on exam day? Whether it's writing it out twice, saying it quietly in your head, or strictly relying on dimensional analysis, lock in a strategy that works for you. You have the skills. Now it's just about staying calm, letting the units guide your setup, and practicing until it's entirely second nature. Thanks for joining me on the Pharmacy at NAPLEX Preparation Coach, and keep up the great work.